I believe we are live now. I believe so. Let me see. It's still... Okay, we are live. Okay, just making sure. Welcome everyone from GFL. Already have Deck Ura in the chat. I believe that is Packers. Um, if you want to send in some, something about yourself, Packers. I don't know much about you. I have not played you. I heard that you played the Chargers in the Super Bowl last year, which let us introduce ourselves. I am Noah, the LA Rams. Haven't talked before on any type of stream yet, so I would like to introduce myself first. And then over here with the Chargers, we got Black Mac, aka Money Mac, as I think just himself calls him that. But how you doing, Money Mac slash Black Mac? All right. So today we're just gonna go through a real quick recap of what has happened in GFL. Everything that's been going on, free agency, draft picks. I think we're just gonna run through a couple draft picks just to talk about it. Maybe talk about some strengths and weaknesses of the draft. That sound good to you? And then if anyone's watching, hopefully we got some people watching in here from GFL. We can get some questions answered for people that might have questions about us. Cause you've made some interesting moves. I've definitely made some interesting moves. Some people might have questions for me. QB controversy going on up in LA, and not the Chargers side. All right. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna talk about the free agency. Free agency. How did you feel about free agency? I know you weren't participating much in it. You're kind of cap stuck, but you got to see what was going on. Everyone offering. What do you think? Black Mac. All right. Well, I guess he had to go somewhere. Well, either way, I will give my opinion on it. Free agency kind of messy all over the place for everyone. A lot of people scrambling to get these top players in the free agency class. Derrick Henry went to the Lions for, well, he backed up the Brinks Trups and dropped off a second round pick just to get him. So, I mean, you got to look at that team. That team was really good going in the offseason, and then he just got even better with some couple acquisitions that he made. Moving down the list, Bills reacquired Tyron Smith. Um, Nobody wanted to sign him for the transition tag. Understandable, 33-year-old left tackle, but still superstar. 94 overall, a very very good left tackle. Yep. You hear now? You hear now? You can hear me? Everything going good over there, Money Mac? All right. I just want to make sure that we didn't lose you. I was just going over some of the free agency pickups. I was discussing Derrick Henry and how he backed up the Brink Trups to get him. He brought some cash in, but he also gave up that second round pick. And with this draft, from what we've scouted together, second round is looking kind of good. I mean, everything's looked good so far from what I've seen. Of course, we're going to talk about the weakness and strengths later. Give people to ask questions and maybe make comments about what they think in the draft. But let's go. Let's keep on going down the initial list of free agents. Rashawn Gary. Um, what do you got to say about that signing? I got my 2 cents, but let's hear yours. So you're all good. Rashawn Gary. Um, what are your thoughts on Rashawn Gary? The signing, at least. I agree. I heard Bills lost Von Miller in the offseason, so him and Bills were in a competition to sign Rashawn Gary. So, understandably, they were both backing up every dollar that they had in the safe just to get this dude. The only problem I really have with the Falcons signing him, I mean, he's got a bunch of money in that secondary with Jalen Ramsey and Tre'Davious White back there now. It may have been worth it, but he doesn't have that development that we want to see. Yes, he's a very good pass rusher, but what's his limit is the real question. What's the limit that he can reach? I mean, he's a very good player, but I mean, this is Madden after all. Abilities do matter. I mean, star from a pass rusher doesn't get you much. I mean, I mean, if he gets superstar, I would say an A signing after that. But for a star, with the amount of money that he paid, with the holes on the team, same with you, C plus to C. And the block shedding. I mean, you're basically paying all that money for just a pass rusher. If you're paying someone that much money, for instance, an Aaron Donald, a Von Miller, you see these guys in the backfield not only on passes but on runs and sometimes coverage. Not Aaron Donald, but Von Miller that just retired. He used to play a little bit of coverage. He wasn't the best, but he could do it. You have to have an all-around player for that much money. I mean, Rashawn Gary broke the Falcons' bank, but one dev upgrade, like he's he's a beast. Like you you got to also think about the future and what he could potentially be. There's always in free agency talks, you always got to think about the future too with the player. You can't just think of what he's done for you in the past or what he has done. So I mean, I think it's a good signing. It's just not a great signing. So I would give it like a C, B ish. Yeah. Let's get on. Um, he's not my type of safety. Carolina signed him, but he Carolina was very good this season. Maybe just needed some secondary help. Wanted to see what he could get with Antoine Winfield. 5'9" though, in a in a time where 6'3" wide receivers are absolutely dunking on people and absolutely just ruining it for tiny safeties like him. I have concerns. The money doesn't look too bad. It looks around. It doesn't look like a huge contract. He got him for a little bit of a better price, but still, 5'9" really hurts a safety like Antoine Winfield. Now, he can still be a beat. He can still play good coverage. I'm not denying that, but the height is really a concern for me. Well, you also have to think, this player's coming over from a division rival in the Bucks, so he's taking away one of his players. I mean, he's getting better in that division. He won it last year, but some extra security to win it again. That's important. I mean, especially with the Falcons making moves, the Bucks still having a Mike Evans and a great team over there. QB concerns for him, but still a very good team nonetheless. And it was I don't again like Rashawn Gary, it wasn't a bad signing. It was just a signing that we have question marks about the future with him. he he can either become a great player, the height might not even be a difference, or he could just be shut out in a couple of years where you're like, man, he's good, but can he cover these elite wide receivers down the field and tight ends? Imagine him trying to guard Donald Parham, almost a foot height and difference. That's a big deal. So I'm gonna give this one. I'm gonna give it a B because the money isn't that horrible. The money isn't bad. It's a average price for this type of safety. I don't think he had much competition signing with anyone signing him, but I think this was a good bang for your buck. Yeah. Okay, so next one we got is Justin Tucker. Justin Tucker's the best kicker in the league. We'll make this real quick. Justin Tucker, best kicker in the league. A plus signing. It doesn't matter anything of any, like, you can try to argue it however you want. He overpaid him, whatever. It's the best kicker in the game. That's it. That's simple. So anytime you sign the best at any position, no matter the money, usually A plus. Unless he's 34, but kickers can last till 38, 40 in the NFL. So as long as he's still got that boot on him, it doesn't matter. So I'm giving it an A plus. It's really just that simple. Okay, so next person, running back Cam Akers. I had him last year. He's personally not my type of running back. I can see how someone might enjoy using him. Just not my type of running back. Um, the money, however, 6-year deal for a running back, I would never do personally. But if you get him, if you give him an upgrade, he can get somewhere along. The problem I had with Cam Akers was he wasn't good at one specific thing. He was just all right all around. He's an elusive back, but he doesn't have the speed of an elusive back. He has 91 speed, which isn't horrible. But if you have 91 speed, I want you to be able to get loose, or at least make a couple guys miss. And with him, I couldn't make people miss. It seemed like maybe I was using him wrong, but another man's trash is another man's treasure. He might go. He had a good season for me. It's not my type of running back. I I agree. I'm just gonna add something. I agree with the running back. Unless you have a top number one, for instance, Derrick Henry, you sign a guy like Derrick Henry 10 out of 10 times. It does not matter what he's asking for because he is a game changer. Cam Akers, good running back, but is he a game changer? Can the Texans make him a game changer? That's the question. So for me, the contract's not horrible. I don't like the length of it, but I'm going to give this a B minus to a B. I think this is an above average signing for a team that last year was very bad. They got a lot of draft picks though to make their team better. This could be a big deal for him in the next coming season, not having to use one of those high picks on a running back. I, I agree. I agree. But so let's move on to the next two. I want to move on to the next two together because they're both linebackers. They both play in they're kind of the same style of good run stoppers, but can also play the pass great. Um, Miles Jack and Bobby Wagner. You know, Lions. So, I'm going to talk about Bobby Wagner first because he's my old player. You know, I'm going to miss him, but I couldn't rationalize paying that much for an aging linebacker that I don't know. You know, he is X Factor, but I didn't really personally like using him. Um, he's a good linebacker. Can you show me the contract for Bobby Wagner real quick, please? I'd appreciate it. Um, I don't think he got him for a bad contract. I do not like, however, for the Lions moving him to left outside linebacker. He unless he's playing like a 4-3, which he might be, and I might not be seeing it, but he does have Aiden Hutchinson at right end, so he might be playing a 4-3. But having him at left outside linebacker, I'm a little bit concerned about because he's not a very good pass rusher at all. Um, I think me and you looked at him, had like 40 power move and well finesse move and all that. Don't get me wrong, very good stopping the run, but I'm a little bit concerned about the left outside linebacker role for him. So, I mean, this was, I believe this was a signing because you got to think about who they have a wild division. Packers, who went to the Super Bowl just 2 years ago. You got the Vikings, who just won the Super Bowl, and then you got him. And you know, we don't know what to expect from the new Chicago Bears. We have no idea. He could be the next great, user. Like we really do not know. Um, it's a question mark. I think that's a good signing though. I give it an he sold out this offseason to get some of the players I need. He only has him on a 1 year contract, so after the season he's gone. You know, that's okay. I give it an A because it's a rental, 1 year rental. What about Miles Jack? Let's look at Miles Jack. Miles Jack coming from the Steelers. Steelers kind of just quiet this offseason. I didn't hear anything from him. I believe he may be shopping around his first. Is that a report coming in, or you know yeah, he hasn't made many moves. It may be because money's tight, or he's planning for next offseason, which you can't blame him. If you know your team's not gonna win, or you got to be ready sometimes. I agree. I agree. He did trade away Greg Newsome too. Me, but that defense is still good. you know, and it was going to make some noise. Michael Parsons and him going to be wild stopping the run. It's going to be really hard to run on that team. And then if you look at the corners, it's Trayvon Diggs back there. He's got a couple nice corners back there and safeties. Um, let let me let me get a real quick look at the contract. I think I saw 4 years. Don't know how I feel about that, knowing that he is age 28. That is, quite an, 32 that his contract would be ending. But, at the end of the end of his last year, he might just be able to be cut and he'll be fine. Nothing will, maybe he'll gain money and he'll be fine. So me personally, I'm gonna give this one a B because I have concerns about the length of the signing. But I think it's good money. It's good for his team. I give it actually a B plus. I'm gonna move it up to a B. Yeah. Um, let's start going rapid fire through these. Shaq Mason. Yeah, let's go to Shaq Mason. Good right guard. Bucks lose him. Another Cowboy signing. I'm giving 2-year deal. It looks 30 years, so that's about an average price for a right guard. I'm gonna give that a B plus. Fifth best right guard in the league. He's a little bit weak with 86 strength, but he is, an 87 overall right guard. That means a lot for people. So I'm gonna give that a B, B plus. I yeah, and he does not have Tony, but he is shopping Ezekiel Elliott, which brings up questions. Is the Cowboys going to draft a running back? Is that what he's planning on doing? And it's a little bit confusing because it seems like, he has the team to go far. He made some good signings, but he's also traded a lot of good talent. Maybe just trying to prepare for, you can't just think about this season. You got to think about the seasons coming up. GFL is not ending after this next season. So you got to keep on thinking about, hey, free agencies next year. We got a free agency next year, too. Which, there's some people like you that have to worry about your contracts next season, and people got to be money conscious. They got to know like what I got, cause sorry to tell you, nobody's bailing you out. More than likely, nobody's coming to help you out. All right, Mike. Oh, okay. I give it a B plus. Micah Hyde, aging safety. Another. See, look, Cowboys. I'm gonna give this one an. I'm gonna move up to Shaq Mason again. Give that an A, with Micah Hyde an A. You, if you're gonna sign all these players, you gotta, give them good deals and have money for the next season. Micah Hyde 1-year deal. Shaq Mason 2-year deal, which you could potentially cut next season. And if he regresses real bad, you can cut him, get some money, and sign the next free agency player. I think that moved up Cowboys, Shaq Mason from a B plus to an A, and this one I'm giving an A also. Superstar safety. Yes, he is old. Yes, he is 88 speed. He, you know, but he also is the 10th best safety in the league. Superstar, 6 foot, can stop those, most of those jump balls. I'm giving this an A. And I mean, not to bring up bad memories for you, Micah Hyde was the main reason it was hard for you to move the ball. He had Micah Hyde all over Austin Eckler, your MVP running back, basically the MVP. Almost could have been MVP 2 years ago. Had a case this season potentially for MVP. It's hard when you have this safety covering your running back. He might not be the fastest, but he's the smartest. He's probably one of the smartest safeties in the league, and he's just overall a good signing. they matter this year. They matter. Very good, especially for what it seems like he's doing this offseason. So I believe the next one was Kareem Hunt. Bears signed him to a 1-year deal. A. That's it. You get a good running back for very cheap. It's gonna. The Bears team was kind of deconstructed. He comes into an like a hard situation, just like I came into. I didn't get to work with my players the last offseason, but I'm giving this an A. 1-year deal. Can get rid of him after the season. Can bring him back if he gets superstar or whatever. I believe this is an A. Simple and quick. It's bringing it's bringing out the Browns of real life NFL with having David Montgomery and Kareem Hunt. Okay, so let's move on to Darius Slay. I'm not going to talk about this. I'm going to let you talk about this one first before I do because of course I'm going to be biased. Yeah, so what I'm going to say is it would have been a B before I traded for Greg Newsome. Now it's an A. I have 3 corners, can lock up basically any wide receiver in the league. All tall too, all tall corners, everything. So I think for the situation, it's an A. Next year he's probably gonna, 1-year deal. If he regresses next year, he'll probably retire on me. I hope not because he is a really good corner. But I really like him. I think that's a great signing. I think that's a great signing because I think it's great just so we can build up some pass rushers. Yep. Let me turn you up and see if that fixes it. That's a little bit weird. That's super weird. Hmm. Alright, let me see that that's fixed it. Let me fix this. Sorry guys, technical difficulties. I'm trying to do this off my computer. Figure this all out. Um Black Matt, can you speak for me? Alright, let me see if it's working. May have to do desktop audio. Okay, that didn't fix it. Let's try that. Can you speak now for me?
Yo, yo, yo.
I think that will do it. I think I had my desktop audio down on that. Signing, at least.
Okay. What you hear, man?
and the block shedding. I
Mr.
mean,
Coach
you're
Jones,
basically
can you hear
paying
me?
all that money for just a pass rusher. If you're paying. Let me see if it's working. Can somebody in the YouTube chat give me a word if you guys can hear him so we can continue this?
Yeah, he hears me now. Mr. Coach Jones, let's do it.
Let me make sure. That was a past thing. So let me see if it's working. Can somebody in the YouTube? Shamar, can you speak real quick? Black Mac.
Yes, sir.
Okay, they're saying they can hear you. Please let me know if you cannot hear him again. This is a new thing that I'm trying out. We'll obviously get better as we continue. Okay, so let's move on to the next. We can skip Awuzie. That's a little bit of a rough subject for you right now.
Yeah, Paul, and I know you hear me, nigga. You gonna have to cure some penalties on me because I ain't doing what they want me to do. Anyways, let's get to Stephon Gilmore.
Okay, Gilmore, Titans. Titans, I don't know how to feel. Titans did make the playoffs, I believe. That's correct. Titans.
Yes.
So, you gave him a 2-year contract, a little bit too long. He might retire after the season. Gives you a little bit of a chance to cut him. Um, I'm gonna say that's a B because, it's still Stephon Gilmore. It's still a top corner in the league.
Yeah. Agreed. I think 2 years was a little too long, like you said. Maybe 1 year would have been better. Bearing has 89 speed. Still a superstar, but I think the Titans have a lot of holes to just be worrying about. You know, giving a 33-year-old corner that type of money for 2 years. So I would give this a D.
A D? That's a little
I
bit
would give it.
rough. That's a little
I would
bit
give it a
rough, but
D. Yes, yes, it's Stephon Gilmore, but I just think in his position, he
you know,
could have allocated those funds elsewhere.
maybe that's my Patriots bias coming out. Maybe that, but I just think he's still top 20 corner, as you can see, position rank 19. He's one of the top 19 corners in the league, or he is the 19th corner. Um, I'm still gonna stick with I'll go down to a B minus, close to a C, but B minus.
Yeah, that title was a little rough,
All right,
especially from a
so
another kid.
Noah Fant, tight end. I
Um,
believe the Seahawks did not submit the paperwork for the franchise tag for him,
yeah,
or
I
whoever
believe
did
so.
have him. I think there was a miscommunication in league offices of what was going to happen with Noah Fant. Bears picked him up, 6-year deal. Don't know how I feel about the length, but you can't argue with 90 speed at tight end. Uh,
No, you can't. But I believe the Bears still have Cole Kmet. Um, I'm not sure if his offense is based around two great tight ends.
Maybe
Uh,
what year was that? 2012 Patriots similarities.
possibly, possibly, but 90 speed on his like catching for no offense. He's a beast.
I
Uh,
I agree. I agree. He is.
I'll give it a B plus also. Just cause it's gonna be hard to stop him and Cole Kmet. So,
I'm gonna give it a B minus just because the money that was involved. That's a
yeah.
lot of money. Um, Wide receiver Brandon Ayuk. What do you guys say about this?
Um, I would say it's a good signing. You know, he lost to Darius Tony. Um, he
Very
has
good
the
trade.
former Yeah, he has the former number one pick on his team, Dean Kramer, I think it is. So we have to get him some targets. Uh, Brandon Ayuk, he's gonna be good until he reaches the 4 years. for 30. They're going to be all right at 30. So I think it's a good signing.
I believe the same thing. 4-year deal for a 26-year-old wide receiver. A lot of these signings, it looks like all it takes is one breakout superstar, and they're a difference maker for the team. Brandon Ayuk, 92. He's a good wide receiver in the slot. However you may put him, I think this is a
Yeah,
B signing. A lot of money going out, but you just lost Kadarius Toney. But you do have Mike Williams on a rather large contract. I don't know how I feel about that, but I'm gonna give this a B. Make a duo with him, Mike Williams, Saquon in the backfield. I give this a B.
yeah, I'll give it a B as well.
Left tackle Trent Brown. Patriots losing a left tackle. Yikes, I believe.
I'm not too sure how I feel about on this one. Just being in the Cardinal situation, they're going in kind of a rebuild mode.
And they already have
Um,
DJ Humphries. He may move him inside though. He can move DJ Humphries on the inside and play guard, or flip him over to right tackle.
yeah, just the money, how much you gave him for the age. I don't think this was a needed sign. Honestly, I think we could have got this position in the draft, or maybe even a lower overall for way less money.
I agree. All right, so we're gonna stop at Can you go down a little bit? We're just gonna go through a couple more. So we'll just rapid fire these next couple. Odell Beckham. Let's go Odell Beckham. Let's go through the
Um,
85s and then we will be done because we obviously we don't want to be here too long. Wait everyone up. Odell Beckham, A signing, 1-year deal. It's still Odell Beckham. Ravens have not really any good wide receivers besides Rashad Bateman and Devin Duvernay. I give it a B, B plus.
yeah, I would give it a B plus as well. It was a good signing. He's gonna be used a lot, I think.
Yeah, Jonah Williams. I believe that's Jonah Williams. I
We
got
could
hit.
skip this since this is,
Yeah,
CPU.
yeah. Let's skip ones about us. Hunter Henry. Who did Hunter Henry go to? I believe I saw Steelers.
Interesting.
Steelers. Um, they were quiet though. They're probably going to draft a quarterback, so I give this an B plus, just because you're getting a weapon for your quarterback. You got It's so important for early development. Get a tight end. It is a 4-year deal, but early development for a quarterback B.
Yeah, yeah. I give it a B as well.
DJ Reader. What do you got to say about DJ? He is your old player.
Um, yeah, he's gonna stop them run. Um, Lions, they did good by signing him to a cheap deal. Uh, he's gonna be since he's a D tackle, he's gonna be good till he's 33, 34. So it's a good sign.
Okay, so Clyde Edwards-Helaire.
Um, 5 years. I believe the Broncos coach is a big LSU fan, so I think this is a mandatory signing for him.
I
But just
Yeah. Keep continue.
yeah, to start his rebuild, he's bringing in a running back that he's probably gonna try to
So
build a little bit more up.
so yeah, I agree. But I'm looking at the contract right now. 15.5 for 5 years. That's 3 mil per season with no bonus. You can cut him at any point and lose nothing for cutting him. A plus signing just because of the flexibility the Broncos have with this guy.
Yeah, agreed,
Kind of
agreed. But with
kind
the
of
price a little
scamming him.
bit, yeah, just a little bit.
AJ Dillon. Uh, Let me
Not
look.
too sure how I feel about that one.
He's a good trucking back. So you got to look at it like that too. Um, I'm gonna give this one a it's six another long contract. I'm gonna give it a B because again, Superstar, if he gets superstar. Actually, I'm gonna give it a C. A lot of money for a running back that you don't know much about. You know he's not gonna
Yeah,
fumble much, but will he be an all-down back, especially receiving?
yeah. I
Okay,
had to give this a C also.
yeah.
I don't think it was a good time.
We'll do one last one. Deion Jones.
Um, I think this was a good sign just due to the fact that him and Isaiah Simmons are not going to be in the middle of the field on defense. Uh,
He did have to give
a
up
lot
a
of,
second-round pick for him though, so
yes, he did. And he's 29 also. So, I'm not sure how to feel about that one.
I agree. And breaking news! Breaking news! Bringing it up right now. Breaking news. Texans are trading the number one are receiving the number one overall pick. They are getting the number one overall pick and a 2024 third round pick, pick 65, and the Steelers are receiving first round pick this year, 6. First round pick this year, 7. 2024 fourth rounder, 103, and then the center, Bradley Bozeman. What do you got to say about that right there? That is a huge trade up for the Texans. We were just
Yeah,
talking about how I thought he was going to, acquire a bunch of people to make his team better, but apparently he's got someone in mind and he's getting him no matter what.
and we have to think that this has to be a quarterback, right? I mean, why trade all this for anything else? I think he's going after a quarterback.
The question is though, he has a young quarterback already. So, is he drafting one of the defensive linemen that we will bring up in shortly about some of them being way better than others, and there's some good top 5 talent in this draft class.
I mean, if
So
he did all that for a defensive lineman, that's questionable.
I
Um,
agree with you, but Texans might see it different.
I mean, that's very true. He does already have a QB. You're right. So there's no way he's going after a quarterback.
I agree. Um, I'm a little bit concerned about that trade just because that puts Steelers in a, but it does put Steelers in a good position still because there's still another QB on the board at 6 potentially that he could be aiming at. If for some reason the Texans do go number 1 QB. I'm very perplexed by this trade for the Texans cuz I'm thinking, he's going towards the future and apparently, not. He
Yeah, yeah. I think this gives the Steeler a lot of flexibility on, filling a lot of holes that the team has. You know, the
yeah.
offensive line isn't too shabby, but left in, they need a right in.
Some league, owners, some league coaches are very confused about this trade also because it is a quarterback, but one coach anonymously is saying, he has a quarterback. He had to have drafted, well, he had to have scouted a generational D lineman to want to trade up to this draft pick. So
Agreed.
a lot of people are concerned. A lot of people are a little bit concerned about this trade and what we might be missing.
Yeah.
Does Texans know something we don't? Maybe his scouting was better than, everyone else's. But all right, we're going to move on. That was breaking news though. We're going to move on to the trades. I'm going to start with some of the bigger trades. Most of them involving me, so I'm going to have your word in it. So we're going to start from the beginning of the offseason. We're not going to go through all of these, obviously, because there was plenty of them made this season. And we're going to talk about a specific team to be exact, mostly. So first one we're going to talk about, um, Texans trade. You're a part of, the committee that allows trades to happen. We appreciate all you trade committee members for working hard to make sure that every trade is fair and done properly. So I want to say I believe everyone in this league appreciates every single one of you trade committees
Yes, sir.
people. Even you, Chargers, even though you won a Super Bowl, I'm sure people still aren't happy about that. But you know what? We appreciate you. We might not
Hey
like
man,
we might not
hey
like you,
man,
but we appreciate you.
I gotta say one thing too, man. I don't know why all the haters in GFL be hating on me, aka Vikings, aka Texans. Um, I don't do nothing to y'all. I think it's because I talk too much in the chat. I'm not sure,
You be running that mouth. You be Hey, you know what?
but the hate is crazy. That's
You,
what I
you
gotta
know
say.
what? It makes this game more fun though. If you didn't have no one hating, this league would be boring. No one would run.
Very true.
There'd be no storylines, no nothing. So, all
Very
right.
true.
So Texans received Stephon Diggs from the Bills. They did give up a first round pick in 2024 from Baltimore, but that's a later first round pick. Bills received a good safety, but I am still a little bit concerned for the Bills. Um, the Bills, I don't know if they're moving forward or moving backwards. They are older. They're a little bit older, but still,
Yeah.
I mean, I don't know.
When you look at the trade, you kind of scratch your head because it feels like they're both pulling in the same direction. So
I'm just confused because Bills almost won the Super Bowl. He was in the Super Bowl. I mean, yes, you played a juggernaut. I I told Chargers privately before that game, Vikings had the best roster in the league. You have a superstar safety that can play linebacker, and that's a game changer in itself. Jay Jettas, Adam Thielen. That was basically you know you can't do much about it. And the pass rushers. I mean, just had last year's MVP rushing at you all game long with Zadarius Smith. So I mean, I give this trade um for Bills. I give it a C because he gets a first round pick. He gets younger, but you're trading the one of the best wide receivers. But you're also getting rid of a bunch of caps. So I'm going to give it a B for him. I'm going to give it an A for Texans because you're getting one of the best wide receivers in the NFL. It doesn't matter.
yeah, yeah, agree. I think we should also do winners and losers from the trade. So who do you think won and lost
uh,
this trade?
I think this one's an easy Texans win. You know, I think Bills knows he was going to lose this trade, but it's to get better in the future. We're not doubting that the Bills will get better in the future from this trade. I'm just concerned about right now because you are a Super Bowl winning team right now.
Right. Yeah, I'll give the
We're
the
gonna t-
win to the Texans.
yeah, we're gonna talk mostly about big team trades, big player trades. The next one I see here, Colts and the Cowboys. Colts receiving Keenan Allen, an old Charger, for
Yeah.
a second round pick, a third round pick, and a cornerback, Isaiah Rodgers.
Um.
Um,
Honest, honestly, I think the Cowboys won this trade by a mile. They get rid of an Asian receiver. He's just going to regress year by year. Get a lot of draft capital, and they get a corner that could, play the nickel or possibly help out the team. So
I
I
agree.
gotta go. Cowboys won that trade.
Yeah, Cowboys. You know, the contract. Keenan Allen's old. The contract's probably 1 year left, 2 years left. But knowing what the Colts did this offseason, just from an about like looking back, I think Colts win this just because of what he did in the future later on. That
Yeah.
might just be me, but I think this is actually an even trade. But if I had to pick a
Independent,
winner, Colts.
independent trade.
Um, all right, we're gonna go to my division rival, Cardinals. trading Buda Baker for right tackle, first round pick this season, and a third round pick this season. Pick 22 and 95. What's your thoughts on this?
Um, I gotta go Cardinals. Yes. The Cardinals got a starting right tackle. To get rid of Buda Baker, who I believe was on the last year of the deal, so we don't have to worry about that money wise. They gain a first rounder. They could potentially find a replacement of Buda Baker if they wanted to, and they get a third rounder. So I have to go Cardinals on this trade.
I agree. I agree. It is hard to say though but it seems like the Cardinals are taking a step back and they're retooling. They're not rebuilding, they're just retooling. You've still got Kyler Murray there. And I'm a little bit concerned about it, but also happy for myself because I get to watch it happen in the division. um
Yeah.
See, this is what I was talking about. Colts. If you just go to the Colts team, they got left tackle Teron Armstead for a second, fifth, and sixth.
Yeah, I think the Colts are trying to do the real life Rams way, trying to buy their way to a championship, and it might not end well for the Colts. It might not end well.
I mean, just looking at the AFC, it is a hard division. He has to make you got Mac Jones to progress pretty well. Darius Slay progressed pretty well. You had to I believe he has to do this to make a Super Bowl though. It's a lot giving up, but he has to do it to make a Super Bowl.
Yeah,
uh,
I mean the AFC is a tough conference.
I mean, it's 1-1 right now for Super Bowl winners in AFC and NFC, but still, I believe it's a close one. All right, so we're gonna do. I'm gonna split up my trades a little bit. So we're gonna talk about my big one right now. Um, I sent Jalen Ramsey. Everyone might have looked at me weird. Jalen Ramsey's great corner, great corner. I agree. But my way of building teams is way different than most other people's. Um, I sent Jalen and my second this year for number 4, AJ Terrell, and a second this year. I traded up in the second round, which I use on in a different trade to move. To move. I give this a trade. I think I win this trade because I got pick 4, which later gets me something better, which gets me something good, and
Yeah,
I get
yeah,
second, which I move, and AJ Terrell. I looked at the contract. AJ Terrell was about 8 mil under him, like on 4 more years left. And if I get him, upgraded once, he is a top corner. So I was like, I had to do it. I had to do it. What's your thoughts on it?
um, I agree with you. I think the trades that you made this off season really, really made you a strong Super Bowl, you know, winning team. I wouldn't even say contending, winning team. You probably have one of the best corner trios in the league, if not the best. You picked up Rodgers. If he plays, I believe Rodgers with this defense. I believe this is a Super Bowl team.
I appreciate that. I think I'm gonna of course say I think I win. But if you look at the trades later on that I do with these picks that I get, I think I win this trade. I mean, yes, he gets Jalen Ramsey, but that's a lot of money. And with having 2 great corners, and then spending the Rashawn Gary money, you don't have much money going into the future. You have a lot of money tied up in 3 players, and that's a lot to deal with. So I think I win this one. I get the fourth pick. I get fourth pick in the second round and AJ Terrell. 4 years younger than Jalen Ramsey. I think I win. I don't know how you feel about it.
I would agree. I would agree.
I think both ways it's a good trade though. I think it was a fantastic trade for both sides, and I don't think anyone exactly lost. I just think I got more better from it, if that makes sense. And since you're already talking about Aaron Rodgers, I'm going to talk about this trade right now. Aaron Rodgers coming to LA. So we did, I believe, I don't know how many teams have done 3-team trades in the league. Have you ever heard of a 3-team trade in this league?
No, this is the first.
So this
This
was
is
the
the first.
this might have been the first and probably will probably be the best. So I would receive Aaron Rodgers. Old contract, big contract, but I'm hoping that he does what I need him to do. I also got a first round pick for next year and the Colts left tackle. Colts received Jair Alexander. And then Packers got pick 16, pick 26, pick 36, 2025 second round pick, and a good, decent corner. Um, I think, personally, Colts gave up a lot for this. Colts gave up a whole lot. But again,
Yeah,
he's selling out again. But I still think he wins this trade out of all of us. I think he got the best player. He got what he wanted. He had to rope me in, but he got what he wanted. So I think he won this trade, but I don't think it was as far as people might think.
agreed. Agreed. I think the Colts as a whole, you know, the team is going to be struggling for cap space in a few years. They went all in. They have a beautiful roster, yes, but how far will this roster take you, and will it be worth all the picks you sacrificed? So
That's the question. He does not have many picks coming up. What? Yeah, he doesn't even have a third next year. He has a third this year. He is hoping that he wins the Super Bowl this year. All right. So I think this will be the last trade that we talk about with us personally. Well, I will have one more because I did do 4 trades. We're gonna talk about yours. Kadarius Toney going to the LA Chargers for Mike Williams, a first in next year.
yeah,
You gave up a lot. You gave up a lot. But like I talked about on the newsletter, everyone pay attention to the newsletters. Give your credit to, everyone that's talking in the newsletter. You know, it was needed. You lost in the playoffs because you had wide receivers that just couldn't get off of the Bills' corners. They were stuck to you. You just could not move. Kadarius Toney completely gets rid of that problem. You will have at least one guy if he's playing man where you will have
yeah,
a chance to get open. And that's all you needed. You
yeah,
relieve some of the pressure from Austin Eckler and you get younger. 2 first round picks. I think he. I'm sorry to tell you this. I think he wins this trade, but it is not by much. It is. You got to think about the future too. Who knows what those first round picks are going to be? And with your cap situation, it's going to be hard. It was a hard choice, but if those first round picks ended up being bad, that's a lot of money sitting on the books to just not play. So I think he wins that, but not much. Especially if you make it to another deep playoff run where that pick is basically a second round pick. I think he won this trade, but not again by much. What's your
yeah,
thoughts on your own trade?
yeah. I think it was a needed trade, as you said. I believe if I did need a receiver, either this year or next year, he wouldn't have stacked up to this right here. Maybe wouldn't have had star or hidden dev. Maybe I would have had to build him up. So, barring my pick, maybe 27 through 32 next year, I think this was a needed trade.
I
Him and Jerry Judy now. Um, I think we're gonna make some noise.
I agree. I really do agree. Um, let's get in a team that hasn't been talked about it much. I have not heard anything from the Chiefs, so we're going to talk about the Chiefs trade. Chiefs. They are receiving cornerback Byron Murphy First round pick number 3, a fourth this year, and a second next year from the Cardinals. Cardinals receive pick 11, L'Jarius Sneed, a very good corner, and Creed Humphreys. This is a confusing trade because Cardinals traded so much away, but then also gets these players back. Good return on him, good return, but I'm just very confused on what exactly.
Yeah, same here. This is a trade where the Chiefs got rid of two of their best youngest players. Creed Humphrey, one of the best centers in the league, and L'Jarius Sneed, I believe he's 6'3" or 6'2" with 94 speed. I just don't. I just think those are players you don't trade, especially in a tough division like the AFC West. I think he lost that trade by a mile. Barring he had the number 3 pick, but will that number 3 pick be better than Creed Humphrey or L'Jarius Sneed? We won't know, and the odds are against it. So that was a rough trade. I think that helps me out because now I don't have to worry about you know Creed Humphrey and L'Jarius Sneed, but
Very true, but it
as a
looks bad
player,
for him.
yeah,
But yeah, I agree with you. I think you know it's hard to say, but I think Cardinals won. I do think Cardinals won that trade by a lot actually. Yes, he gives up pick 3, but he also, you'll see later, pick 11 becomes something, I believe, my pick. Yeah, pick 4 that I got from the Falcons trade, which I got 11.95 and his first next year. So we're not going to go over draft day or draft pick trades because who knows what those become. It might not even be relevant. So we're not going to go over those, but that did come in to, he moved back one spot and got some draft capital for it and some two good players. So I'm going to say Cardinals win that one. Um, let's move down to the Bengals and Commanders. You still there with me, Black Mac? All right.
Yes, sir.
Okay. You just had to move over to something else, I'm guessing.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
You're all good. You're all good. We're technical difficulty still going on here, so we appreciate everyone working with us. Defensive tackle going to the Bengals. Jonathan Allen. Bengals won this one. I You got Daxton Hill second and third, yes, but you just paired up Aaron Donald with Jonathan Allen. That's Bengals win.
Yeah. Don't know what the Commanders was doing on this trade, but I have to say the Bengals won that, and the Bengals, after a tough loss, after probably the best season he'll get, it was a tough loss to the Bills. So I think he's trying to revamp up and trying to make a run back to the Super Bowl.
I agree. I agree. I'm a little bit concerned about it with the age of them, but it's hard to say no to that.
Yeah, I agree.
Um, okay, so we're gonna move on to another one. We're probably gonna go through two more. Um, I would like to say thank you to the Cowboys for being in here, stating that you're here. Thank you for listening in to us. Every people participating is a big part of this league. I believe we have some good participation in this league. We got Broncos Country, Let's Ride in here. That is also, thank you again. Everyone that showed up for this, thank you. If this goes well and, the commissioner likes it, Cole likes it, who knows? Maybe we can make this a weekly thing.
Yeah, I'll be down for that.
I would, talk a little bit. And we got Cardinals here too, also. We appreciate you, Cardinals, for showing up. We've been talking about everyone's team, I believe, fairly, that has made moves. We'll talk about the Broncos later because I don't know how to feel about Broncos stuff. I haven't seen much of him, but you never know. He did trade Russell Wilson away, so
Yeah, yeah. The Broncos.
he won
I
that
think.
trade. Now that we look at it,
Yeah, I think he's been doing great. He's been moving off older players and he's been recouping draft picks. I mean, if we look, he has two first rounders, two second rounders, a third rounder, two fourth rounders, two fifth rounders. So I think the Broncos did a pretty good job in the
oh yeah,
rebuild stage this season.
yeah, he did some good things. You know, it's hard to do stuff when you have to trade your best the quarterback, but he won that because if you just go over to him now, Russell Wilson, kind of washed, which leaves the Commanders in a tough spot going
Yeah,
into next season with that stud wide receiver that they drafted. Uh, we are still looking at your screen, so don't we see exactly what you're seeing, Black Mac. Whatever you want to talk about, the -3 throw power is wild, absolutely wild.
yeah,
He got rid of him right in time to get the best possible value.
yeah. I mean, negative 17 points as a whole. Yeah, that's a lot.
That hurts Commanders a lot. So, you know, we've talked a lot about trades. If anyone has a trade that they want reviewed from the two LA teams over here, two West Side teams, you know, put it in the chat. But we're gonna move on to the draft. We're not gonna talk about many of the draft people. We're just gonna highlight the top five draft specs because we don't want y'all to look at some of our boards, but we also want to talk about them.
Let's do it.
Luckily, our friend over here, Chargers, doesn't have a first round pick, so whatever you see from him, it doesn't matter anyways.
Yeah, yeah.
Unfortunately, but you know, it gets an idea. Let's look at the top five. Let's look at top five. Um, Casey Friedman, is that who the Texans are taking?
It's
Friedman.
very comfortable.
Um, he has a young QB, but for instance, Cardinals in real life with Kyler Murray, they traded away Josh Rosen later on. I mean, it's not the first time we would see this happen.
Yeah,
Um, Nathan Crocker. Can we look at Nathan Crocker combine real quick? From what I've seen personally, I think he's one of the best DNs in the class. I mean, as you see, 6'6", 270 pounds, a huge build, very fast at end, 4.67 speed. He's not the strongest, so don't expect him to, push a good defensive lineman back. But I'm sure he's gonna get around the edge of your tackle. He's gonna get around somebody's tackle.
agreed.
Um,
Agreed.
yeah.
Is this the Texans' number one pick right here?
That's what. This is who I was thinking about when he traded up to number one. Is this his guy? Is this the guy that they're looking to draft and build a fierce defensive line with? Hopefully. Um,
Because as you stated, he does not need a quarterback.
but that's the thing about the first pick. It can literally be anybody. There's nothing he can't have with this pick.
It's gonna be interesting, man.
Who do we got next on the? Who we got next? Let's look. Um, I believe it's another defensive end. This draft class is very heavy with certain positions. Greg Fletcher, Oregon, another pass rusher, another guy that will get to your quarterback. Um, I saw him. I liked him. I don't know how to feel about him. I am farther back in the draft now. Um, but he is very good from what I've seen. 6'3", not as big as Crocker, but still a you know, very good player.
He's definitely going in the top 10.
Yeah, he's definitely going in the top 10. That's who I was originally thinking about with number 4. But, you got to trade back sometimes and get some more value. I'm going to have a first round pick next year. Can never hurt having too many first round picks.
You know, yeah.
Let's see who we got next. Let's see the next guy. Who do we have next? Black Mac, can you tell me?
You got left tackle Jamarcus Nance.
It's so weird drafting offensive linemen in the top 5. I don't know if I personally would do it, but I can understand someone doing it.
Yeah. If we look into him, since he is top 5 talent, I probably won't be looking at him.
Unfortunately. But, got to do what you got to do.
I mean, when we look at him, he's weak. He's
He's
32 bench
soft.
press. Yeah,
You
I
calling
don't.
him
I'm not.
soft? You calling him soft?
I mean, there's no elite or great on the ratings to the left side of the screen about this player. So
The thing is, though, if you look over to the College Pro Day, he improved a lot on some of the things that he did not do well on in the combine.
it's
He went up
true.
he went up 2 reps, which shows potential growth and strength.
True.
So, maybe he's working hard to be. Maybe he has that top 5 pick for a reason. He is getting better as the draft comes by. Pro days are after usually the combine. So maybe he's working with his trainers, working with his people, and trying to be the best possible player that he can be.
Yeah. Yeah. Agreed.
Which, somebody might be lucky and draft him later than the top 5 and get a absolute steal, a generational left tackle. Let's talk about the last player that is in the top 5. We don't want to, we don't want to talk about every first rounder and give away some of our another pass rusher. Um, Another one that's good though. 6'6", 280 pounds. Has a 4-3 look to him. 3-4 more of 3-4. Um,
Yeah. Look at that combine also at
yeah,
280.
he's 280 but with 4'6", 440. That is incredibly. That's so good for a defensive end of his size. The questions are again a little bit weak, a little bit. The strength is a little bit of a concern. But with 4'6", 440, you're going to get around the edge. Do you really need that strength that badly for that much speed? Would you rather him weigh more and be slower? That's what some GMs are going to have to ask themselves. Are they okay with him not having that strength, but also being able to get around somebody's left tackle?
Yeah. Yeah. I feel like strength is the number one thing we should be looking at to build around, a DN or D tackle because it's hard to build up that strength.
But it's like 280 pounds with that being that fast is hard to come by. It's so hard to come by, and we're saying it's hard to come by. You know what that means? It's hard to block. You don't have many examples of people blocking that type of speed with size.
Exactly. Exactly.
So, you know, now that we talk about it, we're definitely going to talk about the strength of this draft class. I'm definitely saying it's the front 7 slash pass rushers. I mean, what? 3 of the top 5 talents, all pass rushers, looked
Yeah. Yeah.
looked very good from what I've seen. Um, Later in the rounds, also, they look good. I mean, you can go through it really quickly if you want to show the people. Um, you know, front 7 is actually very good in this class. Not just, linebackers are good. There's some decent middle linebackers in this class. I'm thinking that this is going to be a lot of people's, time to get, for instance, the Falcons. Falcons are going to have a good day because they're going to be able to potentially draft some later round guys and get a good bang for his buck on the pick.
Yeah,
He might not
yeah.
be a top in the draft class, but he is definitely going to be very good. Um, I'm also gonna say, looking at the class, what's your thoughts on weaknesses of the draft? What do you think is not gonna be hard to it's gonna be hard to come by?
I would have to say, the skill positions, cornerbacks and the receivers in this draft they're not too hot.
I agree.
So, yeah.
I agree. I'm also gonna say quarterback though. If you look at the quarterbacks, there's like three in the first 3 rounds that everyone's talking about. I mean, especially for a day and age now where quarterbacks are basically literally coming out of college pro ready, and there's this short of quarterback list. I'm a little bit concerned about it with teams like the Steelers moving back. Texans didn't have a very good quarterback also. So I mean, if Texans draft that number one guy, is the number two guy gonna be worth that top 6 pick, 7 pick? Is he gonna overpay for Travis Johnson? I mean,
Yeah.
I'm hoping these guys end up better. We all hope that most draft picks end up being good. We never want to wish bad on draft picks, but we're just concerned. I mean, Travis Johnson looks good, like a stereotypical quarterback, 6'5", 225 pounds. But are the fundamentals there? Is the real question with him.
Yeah. Agreed.
So, and I also got to agree with you with the wide receivers. I don't know about the corners, the cornerbacks. Very good corners, but also physically they're limited. The cornerbacks are very limited in this draft class. They don't seem to have much speed in the first round. Um, but you got a lot of guys that are very physical corners. This new age of 6'2" corners coming out of the draft, 6 foot corners. I mean, you got some length at corner. So I mean, it matters what you value. Do you value the speed at corner? Do you value the physicality at corner?
Yeah.
What are you personally looking at for your Chargers to draft? Like, just position group wise.
We're definitely going O line. Feel like that's something we're gonna build on as some of my older players, as they progress and regress, or as they regress and the player I'm a draft progresses. We're just gonna get him ready to start soon. I believe maybe outside linebacker. I'm drafting players that won't start, but they'll have a spot on the team where they can start in the future. So
They'll grow, is
yeah,
what you're going for. Okay, so we talked about the draft. We talked about free agency. Let's let some of our fellow league members get some of their questions. So one we got from let me see, who is this? I always forget who people's names. Um, JP20. I don't know his name in the
yeah, that's
league.
the Ravens.
Ravens. Okay, good. I'm glad you know. I'm newer to the league. Um, he's asking who is the projected top 3 picks from your guys' perspective. So we didn't go through all the picks, but if I had to go through the top 5, I would definitely say. Can you pop up those top 5 just so everyone can get a good look at them? Well, actually, I'll let you answer first. What are your top 5? And well, top 3 in the order.
Top three in the order, JP. I would have to go Nathan Crocker, number one. Um, I would have to go. I would have to go Greg Fletcher, number two. And then honestly, I would have to go, if we're talking about, player that could produce quick, I would have to go, where is he at? Probably the safety right here, J.D. Johnston.
You went mostly defense. You think the top three is defense this year?
I, I believe the top three is defense. I believe those are players that can start day one and make an impact. So yeah, I believe those three will be the first players selected, but I could be wrong. It all depends on what the team needs. So
There's nothing that's certain in the NFL draft. That is for sure. Nothing is certain. So I'm going to agree with you on Nathan Crocker being number one. I think Nathan Crocker is a top talent. I think he's number one. The problem I have with Greg Fletcher is I'm not concerned he can stop the run. I think he's just a speed rusher, and I need someone that's gonna, for my needs as a just coach in general, I need my guy to do both.
mm,
God damn it, are you serious?
what happened?
You had your music on, Shamar. Stream cut out.
Damn.
So we'll restart. Can you turn off your music? Oh, I'll just mute you.
Yeah, I just got the stream, the copyright thing.
Damn, bro. I hope that didn't like end it. Okay, I'll just
Yeah.
end the stream then. We'll